Why do the title of is gnarly is an 80s word? Yeah, it's really not a good big selection. Mostly of these, but then there's also CHONK. The Return of the CHONK. Probably what this might end up being titled. Yep, and the only Lambo. That is... This is going to be interesting. And it really comes down to, I think, also what the AIs bring. Right. Me. Holding Commodore, Pontiac Trans Am, Scirocco, Escort, and an Abarth against Commodore, Buick Regal, an M5, another Regal, another Trans Am, and a Volvo 242. I'm the only one who went for the off-road car, interestingly. I thought at least one other person would have had this idea. I didn't think I'd be the odd one out, but possibly in the most suitable vehicle. I say possibly, it's not a guarantee. At least I can off-road it. So I can do shit like that. And knowing me, probably then well, I was gonna say pull away, but I have to remember, I'm lugging a lot more weight behind me. I may not necessarily have the acceleration up things like hills, despite having, you know, all of the grips. Well, I say all of the grips, it is still on standard tires, but it's like standard off-road tires. So in theory, it should just be a simple drive. We've already had someone depart from the team. I'm not going to claim it's a quit because, woo, that could have been a worse landing. That could have been a much worse landing. And I'm glad it wasn't. Ooh, that is not stopping despite the brakes. Despite the brake upgrades, that was not stopping. Because, oh yeah, because slippy grass ground. That will also do it. I'm still not gonna go high on this. We're always gonna go low. The risk of the jump landing is not worth it. Even though we're doing first through sixth. I think someone is apparently trying to get on the voice, I think, because I was noticing a microphone lighting up on Torn Charlotte there, even though I can't hear a thing because they don't seem to like broadcasting it on PC for whatever reason. Ooh, bouncy please, thank you. Ooh, that's okay, it's all good. We'll manage. Ooh, all good. You hit a million. Good job. I don't know how many, it makes me wonder how many of those would end up being pressed if well, not only if and when I decide to go through the massive amount of backlogged wheel spins that are available. I wonder how many times it'll land. I'd almost be willing to take bets. But that would require me doing it, which is a lot of effort I'd rather not go to. Keep control, please. Again, slippy ground does not help. Especially when you don't have the off-road race tires. But what you do have is a dominant lead. Like, holy shit, that is a lead. Why was I the only one to take the frickin' Lamborghini? By an absolute country mile. How long until the next one actually crosses the line? Is the question. Oh god, this is... Oh dear, that's... Oh boy. There's still... Wow. It took 16 seconds remaining. So that's 14 seconds plus the time it takes to go through the ending spiel. Because this doesn't stop until like 3 seconds... Like 4 seconds on top of that? So what's that? That was a 17, 18 second victory in the end? Yep, I think the Alamo 2 was a good option. Okay, this one should be... Oh, actually, the start of this section is nasty. So I gotta hope I don't get forcibly rolled, but... Oh, actually, hold on. Hold on, this is the route that has that river crossing that can roll you for no reason, I think, isn't it? Yes, if I recall correctly, it is. So we're going to be very careful around that one. Right, launch the Lamborghini. I don't want to be ramming off any of my teammates, but I'd like my inside line, please. I am a Lamborghini after all. Don't hit the bar, mate. Ugh, I'm still getting slowed down by Buicks. Now we can pick up the speed here. Oh, what a landing. That kept going well. The Volvo tried to slide it through there. Good job, Volvo. Yeah, here's the bit that worries me. So I'm actually lifting because I know that that bounce can sometimes just throw you over. Okay. Safely through that section, and now it should just be a case of yet another just drive away, because I have, sorry, the grip, but I have, you know, suspension travel, the all-wheel drive. I'm designed for this, even though that Volvo really wants it. Ooh, that was understeer. That was a lot of understeer there. You could hear the tires squealing through that. Well, I don't know if you could. I could. Or I feel like I could hear the tires squealing through that in the back end. Oh, I really didn't need to brake for that, did I? Alright, back on the grassy stuff, please. Okay, this might not necessarily be a dominant result like the first, but we'll have to see where we go from here. Trying to slide through some gardens, that would also help. Also, don't get stuck by hay bales. That also happens far too often. Especially when you remember how CHONK the CHONK is, it's more than likely you're going to chunk yourself into a hay bale if you're not careful. Also be careful here, don't slide out into the barn on the outside there, and that is 2 for 2.
Hey, takes the checkered flag.
It was a slow start, but and yeah, it wasn't necessarily the guaranteed pulling. Oh, it's a Commodore they're in. Okay, it looks like the Volvo, but I suppose they're probably similar enough. Not sure, to be honest. Now, obviously the main thing about this one is there's a lot of potential for missed checkpoints. That's always the worry. Don't slide round the corner too much. Make sure you actually hit the checkpoint. There are a couple of places where if you take the wrong line, you're just not going to go through it at all. Alright, let's go. Let's get AI Volvo'd. Right, try not to get AI period, which is thankfully not happening. Ooh, oh, that was already a slide. That was already a slide. Please have a good landing. That was a very good landing. Now, let's try and just go straight through. Oh, right, of course. I'm a freaking Lamborghini with gigantic ride height. I just drive through the water like it doesn't exist. Well, maybe not like it doesn't exist. Just slow me down slightly, but not to the extent that all of those cars do, I think. Oh, try not to go through all the fencing. Trying to slide out too far out there, otherwise you don't make this jump. Oop. And careful there. Try and make sure that landing is... that landing could have been a lot better. Make sure you get down to the turn safely. And this is the other big one. Some people will try and cut this a lot. I always just go round and come in just to make sure I get through this so I can make this turn. Ooh, not a good landing there either. And it means a struggle up the hill, but I get the feeling the other cars will have the same issue. If not have more of an issue because they don't have the traction. Time for the jump. Yeet. Ooh, you really don't go far in a C-Class thing here. Well, I mean, I can't say I'm surprised at the result because it was to be expected when you bring the only Alamo 2 out of the entire thing, but that is a triple checkered.
Hey, takes the checkered flag.
And that is 3 for 3. Not necessarily going to be as dominant. Yeah, it's well, I don't know. Depends how long it takes them to get back, but two pretty, okay, about 10 seconds, I think, at the end. Two pretty dominant victories and one decent victory. But yeah, that's why you always bring the chunk.